To remind you, from pole position, it'll be Luca Ticini and Zanello trying to get his 5th win of the year. Johnny Rocket alongside in the number 19, then the 51 of Mayer Lofgren and Bailey. Mark Ridout in the bright orange number 2 car on the inside there, left-hand side of your screen, going from P4. Holmes and Winter in the experimental number 3 car on row 3 alongside Alistair Dendy. Waiting for the green flag at the back of the field to indicate we're ready to go racing here at Silverstone for the OT Publishing Coupe Cup with Toyo Tires. We are indeed away and racing for 40 minutes here at Silverstone National. Good start for Ticini and Zanello in the number 28 car. You can't miss that car with the big almost stock car style number on the side of it. Will lead the field down to Beckett's for the first time. Johnny Rocket holding on to second place there. There's a bit of a lock-up as they go into Beckett's. I think the number 51 of Mayer Lofgren and Bailey has started well. 3 wide, nearly 4 wide as they come onto the Wellington straight. Mark Ridout was in the middle of that, and the number 5 machine, the bright purple and yellow car piloted by Michael Evans, was also in the mix. There's been a change at the front of the order. Antonello has lost the lead as they head into Brooklands for the first time. Through all of that, I think it's the number 19 of Johnny Rocket that's come through. Yes, it is. So Johnny Rocket up to the front of the order, side by side for second place there. Ticini and Zanello having a difficult second half to this first lap. Well, we said it's the longest race of the weekend, but it doesn't feel like it. It feels more like an 8-minute sprint at the moment than a 40-minute run round Silverstone National here. But great work so far from Rocket to the front of the order. Mayer Lofgren and Bailey's number 51. Apologies, not quite sure which of the 2 drivers are starting the race. Oh, very close for the lead there. Mayer Lofgren and Bailey car trying to go down the inside of Rocket for the lead of the race. Side by side as well between Ticini, Antonello and Ridout there. I think that was over 4th place. And here challenging once again. Well, in some ways we hope that this race calms down soon, because 40 minutes of this is going to be quite exhausting for everybody, whether they're out there on the circuit or watching from the sidelines. Good defence from Rocket will have the inside line, but if the number 51 is going to stay there, there's going to need to be racing room given, and is given. Good side-by-side racing there between Rocket and the number 51 of Mayer Lofgren and Bailey. And just looking a little bit further down the order, I think there's been a decent start for Watson in the number 12. Is up to 12th place. Into Copse Corner then, start of lap number 3. Mayer Lofgren and Bailey car, the number 51, did have the lead just over start finish, but Rocket has the inside line through the first turn. Change for 10th place, running up past Fletcher and through now. Finally goes the number 51. Out wide is Ticini and Zanello onto the grass, losing a number of positions, falling from 3rd. I think he's going to be all the way down to at least 7th place there. Ridout, Dendy and Evans all managing to find a way through. Well, what an absolutely pulsating start this has been for the OT Publishing Coupe Cup. Mark Ridout improving. Bright orange machine there, car number 2, is up to 3rd place. Not talked too much yet about the number 3 of Holmes and Winter just behind it. That, again, that's one of our Class X entries as wide there. That looked to be the number 5 of Evans, the other Class X machine. Yeah, has fallen down to 8th place. The big loser, unfortunately, on that lap, Ticini and Zanello down 4 places to 7th spot. There's been problems as well, unfortunately, for Spencer Hirons. Lost 3 places on the 3rd lap of the race, down to 16th now. Feels now that the race is starting to get into a rhythm, with a group of 3 off the front of the rest of the field. Number 51 shared today between two drivers, Sam Mayer, Loughnan and Paul Bailey. Both of them will be very pleased with this position early on in the race. Number 19 of Johnny Rocket. After some big pressure early on, I think we'll be quite happy at this stage to be sat there in second place. I've seen a couple of other drivers having Larry moments, and again, it's not much margin for error around this circuit in terms of momentum. If you get off the racing line, if you have a wide moment, or you are in there visiting other parts of the circuit, the grass, gravel, you're going to be losing a number of positions, and it's hard to then gain that time back without having to rely on other drivers out there making mistakes. There's number 5 of Michael Evans. That's one of the cars that we mentioned has had a trip to the gravel. Here's Mark Ridout going down the inside for second place here on Johnny Rocket. Will have a good run through Beckett's and onto the Wellington Straight. Great move there by Mark Ridout. He's had a good season so far in this competition. Couple of third places to start the season at Brands Hatch. Best results so far this season is second place. He's had 2 of them, one at Anglesey, the other at Thruxton. He would love to take a victory here today at Silverstone. Long way to go in this race, though. A lot's happened already in these 6 minutes that have gone by. 34 minutes remaining. Coming round to finish another lap. Looks like Stachini Anzanello is coming back up through the order after that wide moment through Beckett a couple of laps ago. He's got past Dendy, he's got past Smith as well. Well, Smith we saw having his own excursion out there on circuit. He's also now the fastest driver out on circuit. It's Stachini Anzanello, 1 minute 13.865, back up to 5th place. Gap is about a 1/10.5 to the shared number 3 car of Holmes and Winter. And in fact, the number 3 is putting on a bit of a show at the moment, kicking out the tail there going through Beckett's. Tighter line being used by Stachini Anzanello. Might mean that the top speed is a bit down as they go along the Wellington Straight. Side by side between the 3rd and 4th place, 4th and 5th place cars rather. Beautiful switch to the inside there by Stachini Anzanello. Can he get it stopped? Yes, he can. Beautiful move by Stachini Anzanello up to 4th place. That was precision driving. Couldn't go absolutely diving in there because there was a 3rd place number 19 of Johnny Rocket ahead. Got that absolutely spot on. Round 2 finish lap number 6 then. Mayer, Loughnan and Bailey continuing to lead this race in their shared number 51 car. Around a second ahead of Mark Ridout. No other changes further down the order, so it is still Rocket 3rd, 4th as we saw there for Stachini Anzanello, 5th now for Holmes and Winter. Alistair Dendy runs in 6th place. Number 8 of Paul Smith continues to circulate in 7th place. 8th at the moment for the number 5 of Michael Evans. Darren Ford in the bright yellow number 38 is in 9th place. Ian Brunning P10. 75 of Dan Fletcher is next up. Watson, Jones, Roby, Gillies, Owens and Hirons. You order down to 17th place. Back once again with the fight, this time between Rocket and Stachini Anzanello. This is over 3rd place. Stachini Anzanello, where we said that there was a bit of a stock car feel to the livery of that number 28. That was a bit of a bump draft through Luffield Corner from 4th to 3rd place. 9 minutes of this race gone. New personal bests that time around for Ridout and Rocket. Rocket, of course, assisted a little bit from behind. A few changes further down the order to report on, and there is the number 5 of Michael Evans. Gained 2 spots that last time around. I think, is there a problem out there for the number 58 of Alistair Dendy? The silver liveried car didn't seem to be in that group the last time they came through. Back once once again with the fight for third place. Rocket once again coming under pressure from Stacchini and Zanello in the number 28. And the number 38 of Darren Ford, by the way, gained that last time around. Was another driver to hop up 2 spots last lap. Side by side, heading down into Brooklands. That was side by side between Ford and Smith there. Number 8 of Paul Smith with that split white and black livery with the red and blue detailing on it. So a quarter of the way through the race, car number 51 of Sam Mayer-Laughlin and Paul Bailey looking comfortable at the moment. Quite happy to hold that lead ahead of Mark Ridout in car number 2. That was a good lap last time around for Ridout, 1 minute 14.7. Pulled about a quarter of a second in on the race leader. Rocket and Stacchini and Zanello fighting as well. Well, wherever we see the number 28 today of Stacchini and Zanello, that's where the action is. Sideways and locking up there into Beckett's. There is the number 8 and 38. That's a swap there for 7th place. Darren Ford, I say, running a white livery, a yellow livery, not a yellow livery at all. That's a bit of a throw to the car's film. Lightning McQueen style on his car here this weekend. Very good to see. Smith passed Ford there for 7th place. And just to note as well, at least on our timing information, it does look like Alistair Dendy has pulled into the pit lane. He's got some form of technical problem, I would imagine. That's a real shame for Dendy. Qualified well, had a very strong early phase of this race, but he's out of this race, having pitted there at the end of lap number 7. Leader's definitely going to have something to think about in the next couple of laps. Another good Mark Ridout. Gap is down to half a second and consistently coming down by 0.25 of a second the last couple of laps. So by that maths and that logic, 2 laps. And Mark Ridout is going to be on the tail end of the number 51. And in some ways, I think you'd probably argue he's already there into Brooklands once again. This is lap number 10. Trying to get as late an apex as they can to open things out for Luffield. It's a very good couple of laps from Mark Ridout, really starting to put the race leader under a lot of pressure. And also keen to note that 3rd and 4th place behind, Rocket and Stacchini and Zanello seem to have agreed a bit of a truce for now, because they're closing in as well. They're a touch quicker than those ahead. 3/10 now the gap for Mayer-Laughlin and Bailey's number 51 over Mark Ridout. Looks like Ridout is trying to set up a move into Beckett's corner. In fact, he's more than setting up a move into Beckett's. On the inside, Mark Ridout to the lead of the race. Got a great run out of Copse Corner. Nothing much that Mayer-Laughlin or Bailey could do there. Apologies, I'm not quite sure which of the two of them are in the car at the moment. In fact, that's a great return from the number 51 car. Was drafted back through, retakes the lead as they go down the Wellington Straight. And all the while, closing in, Johnny Rocket in the number 19 there, and Stacchini and Zanello as well. It's a 4-car group at the front of the field, clear of the rest by about 1.7, 1.88 seconds at the moment. This is setting up to be a very entertaining race indeed, as the chase group you just saw there, headed up at the moment by Michael Evans. But we're going to stay with this top 4. What can Mark Ridout do this time? He just carried a bit too much speed into Beckett's last time around. Apart from that, it was a really good move down the inside. It's well read by driving the number 51 car. Oh, that was a bit of a moment for the number 51 car. You saw the rear axle twitch there. pushing right on the edge. Stachini and Zanello taking that title line again. I'm just trying to throw Johnny Rocket off course a bit. Getting his side mirrors and put him off. Mark Ridout slowed down the Wellington straight there, and through goes Rocket with relative ease into second spot. I hope there's not a problem for Mark Ridout out there, because he's now being challenged for third place by Stachini and Zanello. Oh, it's off there. That's the number 3 car. That's the Holmes and Winter Class X machine, beached in the gravel. And I wonder if that was down at Beckett's. Just try and establish where that is. As into the pits there, I think that was Michael Evans in the number 5 car heading to pit lane. It's a bit of drama there on lap number 12. And in fact, yeah, there's a number of cars in the pits this time around, because the number 38, the Darren Ford Lightning McQueen car, has also come into pit lane. So they were very close together on circuit. I wonder if something has happened out there to them. There's the number 32 car. Not seen too much of the number 32 car so far today, but good to see. I think up into the top 10 now. Yes, up into the top 10 is the number 32 car of Mark Jones. It just feels like one of those races at the moment where you don't walk away from this one and have a little bit of a break from it, even though there's 24 minutes to go, because it's right on the edge of anything could happen at any time in this one. But we're approaching the halfway point of it after briefly losing the lead to Mark Ridout, who has got on pace once again, by the way. So any fears of a developing problem for the number 2 seem to have diminished right now. The number 51 of Mayer, Loughnan and Bailey continuing to lead at the front of the field. Rocket still ahead of Stachini and Zanello for what is now second place. Mark Ridout now in 4th. As still pushing hard there is Mayer, Loughnan and Bailey, and a touch wide out of Beckett's corner. This time an even tighter line being taken by Mark Ridout, going for third place there, trying to get past Stachini and Zanello. A couple more cars coming into the pits. Hirons in the number 65, Spencer Hirons. No news at the moment regards Holmes in Winter, as into the pits comes Johnny Rocket then. So Johnny Rocket in just on the near side of the halfway point, 22.5 minutes to go. Will promote Stachini, Antonello and Mark Ridout up to second and third places respectively. Unfortunately, I think there's also been some issues out there for Darren Swift. Just note that the 6.9 machine is 3 laps off the lead at the moment, so that's still behind the number 3 of Holmes and Winter, which we saw off in the gravel a few laps ago. Keep you updated on the situation with Johnny Rocket and the number 19 in the pits at the moment. And pit stops, of course, to be expected in this longer format of race. So some drivers sharing their machines today here at Silverstone. Single race for the OT Publishing Coupe Cup with Toyo Tires here this weekend. More racing to come up after this, of course. Another 4 races to complete the schedule of events for Saturday. The Vertu Motors Mini Challenge Trophy, their first race of 3 this weekend, will be up and around 10 to 4. And more action from the Mini Challenge family. The Club Sports with their Tech Motorsport competition will be out on circuit just before 4:30. British Superkart Racing Club take to the circuit for a 12-minute race at around 4:45, and then Track Attack to finish off the day here as well just after 5 o'clock. Good fight going on here. This is for 6th place. This is the number 32 of Mark Jones at the front. Both of these cars running what's like geometric shapes on their liveries. The dark blue number 32 ahead there of the number 12 of Matthew Watson, driver hailing from Norwich. Very close at the front of the order. Stachini Antonello is is going to inherit the lead of the race here, because in comes the number 51 of Melofton and Bailey. I presume at this stage that's where there's going to be a driver change as well for that car, and I think Mark Ridout also headed into the pits there right on the halfway stage of the race. 20 minutes gone, 20 to go. And there is your new race leader. It's had a very exciting first half of this race. Has Luca Stachini Anzanello. 4 wins so far this season in the OT Publishing Coupe Cup. Hasn't had one since the trip out to Anglesey. Beautiful part of the world at the start of June. Beautiful part of the world whenever you race out there in Anglesey, but some of the photography from that weekend, absolutely fantastic. Stachini Antonello won't probably be thinking about that at the moment. He'll be focused on trying to use this opportunity. A bit of clear road up ahead of him. No worries about drivers attacking from behind. Great opportunity to put some quick sector times. Look to extend the lead once this pit stop phase is completed for everybody. Quite a lot of drivers in the pits at the moment. The number 75 of Dan Fletcher has pitted from 6th place. The number 32 that we were looking at earlier, Mark Jones, has also come into pit lane. The number 26 of Roger Owens, a driver from Kettering, inside the top 10 at the moment, serving a pit stop. It's also been good progress in the first half of that race by the number 22 of Don Gillies is up into the top 10, but also now serving that pit stop that's expected in this race. So over 18 minutes to go. Luca Stachini Antonello continues to lead this race. Slightly off cycle at the moment. I think there's 2 other cars that haven't pitted yet. Those would be the number 18 of Ian Brunning and number 12 of Matthew Watson. So pit stop phase continuing to work its way through. Into the pits has come the number 16 of Callum Roby, worked up to 4th place. Race leader coming round to finish lap number 18. Still no sign of Luca Stachini Antonello coming into pit lane, so that's the main reason at the moment why the lead is nearly 22 seconds over Ian Brunning. Say a little bit further down the order, the drivers that have come into the pits that were also involved in that battle for the lead. Crucial moment for Johnny Rocket, has managed to get out ahead of Mark Ridout, so 5th, 6th and 7th all covered by around 2 seconds at the moment. Number 51 of Mayor Lofton and Bailey still in the lead in that group, ahead of Rocket and Ridout. And they've got about 17 seconds over the next car behind that has visited pit lane. Basically everyone from 5th place down has come into the pits. And in fact now we've also got Brunning, Watson and Roby 2nd, 3rd and 4th on the road, all in the pits as well. There's the number 65 of Spencer Hirons with the bright green or teal green rear wing there. This is a fight, I don't think it's quite for position at the moment, with the number 22 of Don Gillies. In fact, no, it might be actually, because this is whilst the pit stops are filing through. So I think Spencer Hirons has managed to get ahead. Yes, he has. So that's for 14th place. Good work by Spencer Hirons. Moving through, improves another position. So still no visit to the pit lane for Stachini and Zanello. 15 minutes to go. But the pace is good at the moment for Stachini and Zanello. That's the key thing right now. Whilst his rivals, his closest competitors, I think there was a change there between, yes, there has been a change. The number 19 of Rocket has got ahead of the 51 of Mayer Lofton Bailey. And this again is why this is really good work from Stachini and Zanello, because those three other drivers who Stachini and Zanello was in a quartet with before the pit stop phase, they're all fighting amongst one another and surely must be costing themselves time right now. Also trying to work their way through some of the traffic as well. Oh, Mark Rithout's going to have to get on the anchors there. I don't think he was quite expecting the number 65 of Spencer Hirons to come back onto the racing line at that point, just transitioning towards Luffield. He's going to lose out there. I think he's lost about a second to Rocket and Mayer Lofton and Bailey's number 51 up ahead. Starting to filter back through now, this race. Only got one car out there that hasn't pitted as of yet. That is your race leader. That is why it's a full clear lap at the moment for Luca Stachini and Zanello. Just over 45 minutes of 25 minutes, doing the maths quickly. 25 minutes of the race gone so far. Just under 15 remaining to go here at Silverstone. Single race of the weekend for the OT Coupe Cup with Toyo Tires. Pace at the moment for the race leader, well, 1 minute 15.1 last time around, to say, is quicker than the three behind in the standings. 1 minute 15.4 for Rocket, both Mayer Lofton and Bailey's number 51 and the Ridout number 2 in the 1 minute 15.8. Now we see into the pit lane the race leader, so that was a long run for Stachini and Zanello. It now comes in to serve the pit stop that everybody is doing in this race. Now we'll really start to see whether this strategy is going to pay off. Down the inside there, the number 51 looking for a way past the 19 of Johnny Rocket there, but Johnny Rocket holds that outside line. That's good driving once again from Johnny Rocket. Carried the speed through Cobb's corner. Compromise line for the number 51 has actually given Rocket a bit of space into Beckett on this occasion. Mark Ridout's got a good run there out of Beckett. He's going to challenge the number 51 for third place, but will be on the outside heading down towards Brooklands. So what we've seen so far in this race would make us believe that it's going to be the advantage to the number 51. It is. I think Mark Ridout's just missing a bit of pace down the Wellington Straight. We saw him lose a couple of positions earlier on in this race. He's still very much in the discussion for another top three here in what's been a strong performance this season for Mark Ridout. So just waiting to see where Stachini and Zanello will filter out here. So these three will all get back onto the lead lap. There they go through. Quite long pit stops for the drivers here, compounded by the fact, of course, we've got quite a short lap around the national layouts here at Silverstone. So 1 minute 30 was the lead for Stachini and Zanello when the number 28 came into pit lane. Defensive line once again from the 51 of Mayer Lofton and Bailey. Mark Ridout's going to try that same move again that he did or attempted 1 lap ago, but this is where he needs the horsepower. This is where he needs the 2-litre engine in his number 2 Hyundai Coupe to really sing, to try and go round the outside and take that third place. It's all playing into the hands as well of Johnny Rocket, because he's just quietly getting on with things at the moment, as side by side for third place between the number 51 and Mark Ridout. Mark Ridout will have the inside line as he goes through Luffield corner and surely will take third place. Really good stuff from Mark Ridout, back onto the podium. Can now try and set about catching Johnny Rocket ahead to try and at least match his best performance of the year so far. Changes afoot. We haven't seen actually the number 28 back out on circuit to confirm what position that it's in. Meanwhile, still fighting are Mark Ridout and the number 51, piloted either by Sam Mayer-Loughlin or Paul Bailey. We know they will have done a driver swap at that halfway stage. Unfortunately, not quite sure which way round they are. Now, if that timing is correct, not seen it visually with my own eyes, the Stachini Anzanella number 28 looks like it's come out behind this trio. I've got to say that's a bit of a surprise for me. I wonder if there's a bit of a hold up in the pits for Luca. 2 minutes 55 with the pit affected lap time, and that's in fact there is the number 28. So yeah, so back out on circuit, has been making the way through past some of the traffic there. Wild moment for Spencer Hearens. Is going to lose that position to the number 22. This is still this fight. This has been going on for the last 4 or 5 laps with the number 22 of Don Gillies, but good driving there from Don. Just held the inside line, pressured Hearens into the mistake, and will take place number 13 as a result. There is your race leader. Confirmed now. The pit stops have cycled their way through. Johnny Rocket just under a second clear ahead of Mark Ridout. Slight lock up there into Beckett's. He's only raced in 2 appearances so far this season in the OT Publishing Coupe Cup. They were very good performances from Johnny Rocket at Thruxton, 3rd and 2nd place at the last meeting for this field. 8 minutes and 40 seconds away from taking a victory here at Silverstone. This has been a race that so many of these drivers have wanted to have their strongest performance of the season in when they've been looking at the calendar across the course of this season. We're properly into the end game of this one now. Shouldn't count out that number 51 car as well of Mayer-Loughlin and Bailey. It's been very strong throughout the course of this race. What's the pace like relative between these cars? Well, 1 minute 14.9s for Rocket and Ridout at the front of the field, 1:15.2 for Mayer-Loughlin and Bailey, 1:14.8 for Stachini Anzanella. So it must have been that the time was lost in the pit lane, because we were commenting on how the times before the pit stop for car number 28 were in the low 15s, the 1 minute 15s, whilst the 3 now leading at the front of this order were in the mid and high 1:15s. I'm sure there'll be a bit of an analysis done by the driver and the team working on that car as to how they lost so much time, unfortunately, through that phase of the race. 8 seconds out there that's got to be found in 7 minutes at the moment. The pace, whilst good, is not going to be at the kind of rate to close in with the remaining time. Some good news to note as well. We saw the number 3 car earlier in the gravel. Well, it has got going again. It's lost a couple of laps as a result of the recovery, but that's good to see that the car piloted by John Winter and Andrew Holmes is still circulating out there. It's been the main part of drama so far in this race. And apart from the number 58 of Dendy, we have still got 17 cars running out there. Good strong field circulating here at Silverstone. 6.5 minutes remaining. Pressure being soaked up at the moment by Johnny Rocket. 3/4 of a second is the lead for car number 19, but we've seen Mark Ridout in this position earlier on in this race. Remember back to when it was the number 51 at the front of the order. There was a few laps where Ridout was just able to pull out quarter of a second, momentarily led this race. For Mark Ridout, I think that's what he needs right now. Not many laps of this race to go. So over 5 minutes remaining on the clock. Rundown of the order then. Rocket from Ridout, the shared number 51 of Mayer, Lofton and Bailey. That is your top three. Pole sitter and leader in the middle phase of this race, Lucas Ticini Antonello, is in fourth place. Really good middle phase of the race, got to say, for Ian Brunning. Was around, I want to say, 10th place before the pit stops, and has worked up to 5th place now, so great work for the Newark-based driver. Car number 18. There's just been a change for 6th place out there. The number 8 of Paul Smith has gained a spot past the number 38 of Darren Ford. In fact, Darren Ford is falling down the order at the moment as we just go through this rundown. 7th place at the moment for the number 32 of Mark Jones. The number 5 of Michael Evans is in 8th place. The number 12 of Matthew Watson, 9th. In fact, yes, the number 38 of Darren Ford has come into the pit lane. So I hope that's not too much of a problem for Darren Ford. The number 26 of Roger Owens is currently going around in 11th place. And it's the number 75 of Dan Fletcher in 12th. Number 16 of Callum Roby is currently scored in 13th place. And then still this great battle going on between the number 22 of Don Gillies and the 65 of Spencer Hirons. That's over 14th and 15th places now. Two more cars still circulating out there. The number 3 of John Winter and Andrew Holmes, 2 laps down in 16th. And the number 69 of Darren Swift. One retirement so far from this race, which was around 20 laps ago or so. The number 58 of Alistair Dendy. Well, we were talking a couple of laps ago about Mark Ridout needing a fast couple of laps consecutively to really put the pressure on the race leader, and that is exactly what Mark Ridout has done here. He's closed up to the back, and this lap in particular had 0.6 of a second to find on Johnny Rocket here on the 28th lap of the race, and he's found exactly that. 3.5 minutes to go. It's going to be a proper grandstand finish here in the Coupe Cup for their 40-minute race here at Silverstone National. Into Copse they go. Into Beckett. Ridout has been strong throughout the course of this race. That's where we saw him put the move, temporarily at least, on the number 51 of Mayer, Lofton and Bailey earlier on in the race. And I think he's looking for it again here as they go into Beckett. But Johnny Rocket is wise to that one. Bit of a lock-up. These Hyundai Coupe cars, they seem happy with that. Just a bit of a trailing tyre. They're still able to make the apex. Great driving from both Rocket and Ridout here. Less than 3 minutes to go on the clock. Not a lot of time for Mark Ridout to try and make this move. Neither of these drivers, remember, have won a race so far this season in this competition. No championship standings to worry about for these drivers. They're just all out and out for these race victories. I think that we will have 2 more laps remaining. We'll just clock the time as they come over the line. Have about 2 minutes remaining on the clock, with lap times continuing to be in the low 1 minute 40. He's really impressed with the pace of the drivers towards the end of this race. They'll be tired, both physically and mentally, trying to keep that momentum up. New personal best to just come through, by the way, for Don Gillies in the number 22 in 13th place. I think that's sad to report that there are more major problems for Darren Ford than we first thought, because the number 38 has not re-emerged back onto circuit. Is now being scored in 17th place. There's also, I think there's been problems for Ian Brunning, because Ian Brunning has been into the pits, is now out of the pits again, but is now showing in 15th place. Just over a minute to go then. Not long at all for Mark Ridout to try and find a way past Johnny Rocket. Is it going to be another Rocket victory here in the OT Publishing Coupe Cup? We've already seen a number of wins for Wayne Rocket this season. Mark Ridout, watching him race for a good number of years. Tenacious racer, deals with pressure very, very well. It's also a back marker up ahead for these two leaders. May that come into play. Oh, is that a bit wide? Well, both of them were a bit wide out of Kopp's corner there. They've dropped the number 51 of Mayer Lofton and Bailey. That's some 6 seconds behind now. Such has been the pace of these two drivers in the since the pit stop. Ridout's trying to look round the outside there, no way through past the number 19 of Rocket, but he's closer than he's ever been before as they head down the Wellington Straight. 10 seconds remaining on the clock. They'll be keeping an eye out for the checkered flag and when that's going to be shown, but it's good power once again for Johnny Rocket into Brooklands, what could be the final time. Ridout trying to look for one down the inside. Rocket covers it off. Beautiful defensive driving there from Johnny Rocket. Out of the final corner. What a race this has been this afternoon here at Silverstone National. These two drivers, hard finish to not say that both of them are going to win this race, but there is the checkered flag out for Johnny Rocket. Takes race victory for the first time this season in the OT Publishing Coupe Cup. A great drive from Mark Ridout as well. A third second place of the year for Mark Ridout and arguably his best yet. Good drive as well to complete the podium. The number 51 shared between Sam Mayer Lofton and Paul Bailey. A well-deserving 1, 2, 3. Great entertainment throughout from Luca Staccini and Zanello will come home in 4th place. Next up will be the number 5 of Michael Smith across the line. Paul Smith across the line. I've got my 5s and 8s mixed up there and invented a driver who wasn't in the race, but there we go. 5th place for Paul Smith. Great drive there. And again, another driver in a very strong second half of that race. Gained a number of positions, finishes in the top 5. 6th place for the number 32 of Mark Jones, who stuck in there and gained a number of positions again in that second half of the race. Then we found the number 5 of Michael Evans, the first of the Class X cars across the line there in 7th place. 8th for the number 12 of Matthew Watson. 9th place the number 26 of Roger Owens, and then completing the top 10 the number 75 of Dan Fletcher. But there's your winner, number 19 Johnny Rocket. Always special to take a win here at Silverstone, and he had to work very, very hard for that one. Led early on, lost the lead to the number 51 of Mayer Lofton and Bailey. But some superb work, got to be said, through the middle phase of the race as those pit stops were cycling through. Pace was strong, the work in the pit lane was strong as well, and then put him in a position where I could hold off Mark Ridout for those last few laps. Here's your provisional result. Johnny Rocket, your race winner by just under half a second ahead of Mark Ridout. The first of our cars that was shared across the course of that 40-minute challenge here at Silverstone. Number 51 of Sam Mayer Lofton and Paul Bailey completes the podium. Luca Staccini and Zanello finishes in 4th place there in the number 28. Paul Smith next up in the number 8 completes the top 5. Mark Jones in the number 32 was 6th. First of the Class X cars, Michael Evans will be classified in 7th. Matthew Watson will be 8th overall, 7th in class in the number 12. Roger Owens 9th overall, 8th in class in the number 26. Dan Fletcher and Callum Roby all finished on the lead lap and in the top 10 in class. Don Gillies and Spencer Hewins put on a great show as well. A race that went on for a long time in the second half there, 11th and 12th. And the number 3 of John Winter and Andrew Holmes finishing strongly as well. Well, entertaining stuff there from the OT Publishing Coupe Cup with Toyo Tires. Let's head down to the paddock, and Hamish there waiting for the driver to come back in.
Well, what a race that was, and I'm here with the winner, Johnny. Johnny, congratulations. How was that?
Oh, that was amazing. First ever career win. That was, so yeah, over the moon.
Yeah, and talk to me about the race. It's a long one. Yeah. Thought process. How are you staying focused throughout that?
We went off as a group. We was all battling. We was all the same speed. Dad pulled me in early to get away from the battling. It clearly worked out.
Yeah, for sure, and congratulations, great win, first win of your career. You must be over the moon, right?
Yeah, hopefully many of more.
Yeah. Okay, congratulations. We'll try and grab a chat with 2 and 3, but they may have gone off. I think 3 is here. Are you about to go? No, sorry, can we just grab a chat? Congratulations, P3, how was that?
Fun. Yeah, really good, really good. Sam handed the car over to me in first place, so it was lots of pressure, but I managed to hang on to third. First time I set eyes on the car was this morning, so really, really pleased. And he led the race for half the race. Well done, Sam.
Well, you must be proud as well, Sam.
Yeah, unbelievable. What a first time in the car. He sat in the car this morning straight into qualifying, and that's when he gets a podium. Unbelievable.
Congratulations both, you must be delighted. Anyway, we'll try and catch a chat with number 2, but Mark may have gone off, or is he here? Mark, sorry, can we just grab a chat quickly? How was that?
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Yeah, had some really good battles there.
Yeah, it's a long race, but yeah, you managed to stay focused throughout and finish in a good position.
Yeah, it actually went quite quickly, to be fair. It didn't feel like when the last lap ball came out, I thought, is that it already? Like, yeah, I guess I was having a lot of fun, so yeah.
Perfect. Well, what have you taken from that race into tomorrow?
We're not racing tomorrow. That's already raced, so.
Sorry, my mistake. Well, anyway, congratulations on today. And